Okay. So like I said in the last class, we'll be starting with chapter 2 of grade 11 first. After finishing chapter 2, we'll be starting chapter 1, and then we'll go 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we'll be starting with chapter 2. That's the only difference. The reason is it's better. Okay, it's better if we do it like that, because chapter 2 is about software development, about developing software, how from the beginning to the end, like from the moment you start working and until you sell. After selling the software, after giving the software to the customer, what should be done? So all these things from the beginning to the end. Okay, everything is included in this topic, chapter 2. Chapter 1 is about one part of this process. Chapter 1 has one part of this process. So that is why I preferred to start with chapter 2 and then for chapter 1, because normally I do it like that. Okay, normally I do it like that. So if any of you have like any doubt, or if you want to ask me anything in the middle, you can drop it in the chat. Like I said, your video or audio will not be allowed here due to certain reasons. Yeah. And I told you the reasons also, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys. So SDLC, System Development Life Cycle. Now, before we talk about this lesson, I'll tell you certain things that are common with this lesson. Okay. The first thing is chapter 2. The heading is System Development Life Cycle, right? But it's also called as Software Development Life Cycle among teachers and even among some students. We call it like that. We say it's a software development life cycle. So if you have your exercise book with you right now, you better start getting down notes. Right now, I won't be telling you like write this down, write this. No, I won't tell you. But if you feel like writing it, write it. Okay. If you feel like writing it, just write it down. And see, guys, with system development, we are talking about software, right? So before we talk about this development process, I'll tell you what a software is, what a system is. You know, even in your textbook, you have it. Like, what is a system? But that thing is different. Okay, here we are talking about software. I'm going to talk about software, and then I'll come to that. Okay. So it's like a software. Okay. All of you know about WhatsApp, right? All of you, you know about WhatsApp. You have used WhatsApp, haven't you? Right. So you know about WhatsApp, right? What happens with WhatsApp? WhatsApp is a software, isn't it? WhatsApp is also a software. We call it an application software. Now, we can define a software like this. Software is a set of instructions to do some tasks. I'll say that again. Software. A software is a set of instructions to do something, to do a task or many tasks. Like a recipe. Like a recipe to make some food. It's like that. But this recipe is given to the computer or smartphone. Okay, this recipe is given to the smartphone or a computer to do something. Now, let's talk about WhatsApp. It's easy because you know about WhatsApp, you have used WhatsApp. So I'll take WhatsApp as an example. Just think about it. Now, think of WhatsApp as a set of instructions. I mean, we cannot see the instructions. Your phone can. Your phone can see the instructions. You can only see the outer appearance. You can only see the outer appearance. You can only see the interface, we call it. Okay. So when you open WhatsApp, what happens? When you click on that app, when you tap on the app, what happens? Just think about it. When you tap, when you open WhatsApp, what's the first thing you see? Chats, right? Chats. So how are they arranged? See the recent chats, the latest chats. Yeah, in an order. Good. See, the latest chats will be on top, and then the older chats, they go down. And if you have pinned a few chats, they'll be on top, and you'll be seeing some sections at the bottom. I think bottom, right? Bottom. To move to status, calls, whatnot, those things. So you see, all those are instructions, guys. Think about it. All those are instructions. The latest chat should appear first. Each chat should have a name, right? So the name should be shown. The profile picture should be shown in a circular icon. The number of 100 messages should be shown in a small box, and the latest message should be shown a little bit. All these are instructions. When you click on a chat, that chat should open up separately, and the latest message in that chat should be at last. Yeah, the date should be shown, the time should be shown. All these are instructions, guys. All these are instructions given to your smartphone. Display this. Now, even when you open a chat, there should be a space to type new messages. There should be a circular icon where you can press and hold to send a voice note. All of these are instructions given to your smartphone. Show this, do that. So actually, if you consider WhatsApp software contains thousands of instructions. Thousands of instructions are there in that software. Okay, we cannot see those instructions. Your phone can, right? You can only see the screen. What is shown on the screen? You can see only whatever is shown on the front can be seen, right? So that's how it works, guys. Just put it into your head, right? So a software is a set of instructions to do something. Now, what are we doing with WhatsApp? Communicating, right? Communicating, texting, yeah, chatting, texting, calling, talking, anything, right? So See, now in reality, we have, yeah, showing off with status. So in reality, we have three reasons. We have three reasons to build a software. Okay, three reasons to develop a software, a system. You better mark these things down. Okay, you don't find these things in your um, textbook. Okay, this is coming from my head. So see, I told you three reasons, three main reasons. Okay, there's like a lot of reasons, but three main reasons. Number one, the most common reason is we build a software to solve a problem. If you can solve a problem using a software, we do that. We create a software and solve that problem. Number two, to fulfill a need, to fulfill an activity or a work. I'll explain that. And number three, the third reason is a little bit negative. Number three is to cause harm, to cause trouble to people. Okay, so these are the three common reasons why we develop software. Okay, I'll tell you about the first one. First one is to solve a problem, right? We create software to solve a problem. How do you solve a problem using a software? Now, you guys might not remember, like, even when you were kids, there were smartphones. But when we were kids, we didn't have smartphones, guys. We didn't have smartphones. So, it was a lot of hardships. Communicating was very difficult. When we had to talk to someone, we had landlines, land phones. So landlines were also very expensive. Not like nowadays. If okay, nowadays, if somebody calls you, if I call you, you can keep on talking, right? You don't have to worry about money. If I call you, you can keep on listening, right? Because I'm the one who is being charged, right? My balance will go down when I'm talking to you on the phone. Earlier, it was not like that. Those days, with the land phones, when I call you, both are charged for incoming and outgoing. So if I'm calling you through a land phone, they'll charge me 10 rupees. You'll be charged 5 rupees for incoming. How is that? So those days people didn't talk much. No unnecessary talks. And very expensive. Okay, those days it was very expensive. Phone calls were expensive. Talk to your parents, they might know. Okay, but nowadays it's cheap, isn't it? Nowadays it's cheap. Phone calls like 1 rupees, 2 rupees per minute, right? So it's cheaper. And incoming is free. So you see, but still there was a problem. Still nowadays, I mean, like, if we didn't have some software, if you were to call somebody abroad, if you were to make an international phone call, if you were to call somebody who is living in another country, that was very expensive. That was really expensive. Like, I think those days it was 25 to 30 rupees, I think, per minute. 25 to 30 rupees per minute. Those days, okay, like I'm talking about 2002, 2003, it was like that. 2002, 2003, 25 rupees. Think about it. 2002, the year 2002, 2003, those periods, phone calls were 25 rupees and 30 rupees. Like at that time, a gold Mari biscuit packet was 3 rupees. Then think about the price of one phone call. Those days, you know, those days, one gold Mari packet, the same packet that we have now, the same size, okay? Same size, gold Mari biscuit packet was 3 rupees at that time. Phone call was 25 rupees. Just think about it. So if you compare that to nowadays, it's like how much is that? Three eights are 24, right? So like 8 times. So how much is that? 25 into eight biscuits, 8 Mari biscuits. So how much is 8 Mari biscuits nowadays? 800 rupees, right? One phone call, 1 minute, okay? 1 minute was 800 rupees. I mean, like equivalent to 800 rupees nowadays. But we don't spend that much nowadays, do we? We talk minutes, hours on the phone. How? Yeah. We talk hours and hours through WhatsApp, right? Through WhatsApp. WhatsApp has solved several problems, hasn't it? See, you're not you're not spending so much on IDD calls. IDD is still expensive, okay? Even nowadays, IDD calls are expensive, but not as much as those days. Those days, phone cards were like credit cards. Phone cards were like credit cards. Why? They were expensive. Plastic cards. Nowadays, you have these cardboards, right? Paper cardboards, phone cards. Those days, they were like credit cards, plastic. Why? Very, very expensive things. So, what I'm trying to tell you is that software programs. Now, WhatsApp has solved a lot of problems for people. First, it started with chatting, texting, using mobile data. Good thing. Later on, we had voice calls using data. And then we had the facility to send pictures, photos, and then videos. We can send videos. And then later on, little by little, it developed to video calls. We were able to send make video calls. And then later on, again, slowly, group calls, group video calls. So likewise, WhatsApp kept on developing, and people were experiencing or benefiting from WhatsApp in numerous ways, guys. Okay. So, see, that is how a software can solve a person's problems. That's one example, okay? Just one example. Solving problems using software. Another reason I told you to build software is to fulfill a need. The second reason I told you. We build software, we create software to fulfill a need. Now, if you can do something with the help of a software, why not? Yeah. Now, okay. You know how to, now an accountant, okay, let's say an accountant, right? An accountant can do accounts using a ledger, right? Those big books like CR books. An accountant can do accounts in those CR books, right? What if, what if they use a spreadsheet software instead of using CR books and writing and writing and writing and turning a lot of pages? Instead of using those books, they know how to do it, they know how to do the accounting, but using a spreadsheet would make their work easier, right? It would make their work quicker. So that is what we mean by the second reason. When you can get your work done, when you can fulfill a need using a software, we do that. Okay, so it's like, it's not a problem like you know how to do accounting, but if you use a software like let's say Microsoft Excel, it's a spreadsheet software, right? So you can use Excel and do your accounting work faster, better. That is again something beneficial, isn't it? So those are two reasons, positive reasons. And the third reason I told you, it's a negative reason. The third one is a negative reason for building software. What is that? To cause trouble, to cause harm to others. Okay, such kind of software. Now you might have heard of several malware, malicious software, harmful software, virus, computer virus, worms, yeah, spyware, adware, trojans, ransomware. There's a lot. There's a lot of harmful software. Where did these things come from? They were built by someone. Okay, they are also software programs, but harmful software. Virus, a computer virus is also a software, but harmful software. Okay, they were also created by somebody to cause harm or trouble to others. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, people even do that. Like, people even use malware for revenge. Like to get revenge from people, others. That is also there. Several reasons. So that was like, guys, the main reasons creating software. Now, what we are going to talk about here is about the positive side. Okay, we're going to talk about the positive side. We'll talk about the negative side in chapter 6. Chapter 6 of grade 11, we have it. We will be talking about the negative side and how to protect yourself and those things. Okay, for now, let's be positive. And at last, let's talk about negative. Okay, so here, now in your textbook, you can find the first thing. The first thing it says is, what is a system? Right? What is a system? So the definition given there, definition given for a system is a system is a set of components working together to achieve a goal or to perform a task. Yeah, that's a system. I'll tell you an example. A system, okay, I'll say that again. A system is a set of components, parts. A system is a set of parts, components working together to perform a task, to do something, to do a task. Now, take one system, for example, a machine, a washing machine. I don't know, washing machine always comes to my head. Let's say a washing machine, right? So a washing machine is a system, but it's a special purpose system. It's built to wash clothes. Okay, a special task. It is built for a special task to wash clothes and even dry clothes. So there's a lot of components inside a washing machine, right? There's a lot of parts. A lot of parts are there. It's built using a lot of parts. So what do? You input something. What do you input? Yeah, clothes, dresses. You input your clothes into the washing machine, close it, and you do some settings, and you start, right? You start. So there is a process going on. What is the process? Yeah, the water gets filled and washing and then rinsing maybe, and then that water is drained out. Another set of water is filled again. Okay, and then that water is also drained out and then spinning to dry. So likewise, that is the process. After all these are done, your washing machine starts shouting, right? Toot, toot. It's not working. Some sound, okay? That didn't work out. Some sound. your washing machine, it will give out some sound, right? So that is the output. What is the output? Clean clothes or maybe washed clothes. Okay, that is your output. So it's like that. So literally, a lot of machines out there can be considered as a system. Think about it. The TV is also a system. Oven, yeah, system. Grinder, yeah, system. Fan, yeah, system. AC, system. Refrigerator, system. Computer, system. Smartphone, system. Smartwatch, system. Vehicle, car, van, bike, bus, system. School, is your school a system? Yes. You can talk about your school also as a system. Yeah. What is the input to your school? Yeah, miserable children, right? No, I'm just kidding. Okay? Just kids. Okay. Uh, no offense. Kids. And what is the process? What's the process? Yeah. Teaching, beating, scolding, a lot of process is going on. And then by the end of maybe 11 years or 13 years, what is coming out? Yeah, a devil. No, I'm just kidding. That's like good students, okay? good good citizens to the country, or maybe sometimes devils also. Who knows? Yeah, no, it depends. Okay, it depends on how you define good citizens and devils. Okay, so see, a system is there. A system is a set of components working together to do something. Right? A system is a set of components working together to do a task. So for a system, there are three main components. What are they? Input, process, output. Right? Input, process, some kind of process. And you give out the output. Okay? So this could differ. Like what are you giving as input? It differs from system to system. It differs. Okay? How is the process done? That also differs from system to system. The process will be different. Output also the same. Will be different from system to system. Okay. So here, the first thing there, under systems, you have something called information systems, right? Information systems. You can find it in your textbook. Information system. Information system means a system that processes data into information. Data is given as input. That data is processed and meaningful information is created. Meaningful information or useful information is created. So that is an information system. Okay, you input data, that data would be processed into meaningful information. All right, that is an information system. So if for an information system, what is the input? Data. What is the process? Something. Okay, so there are, like I said, it differs from system to system. So there is a lot of things going on. Process. It is processed into information. Information is the output in an information system. So now even in information systems, we have two types: manual and computerized. Okay, manual and computerized. Manual means, just remember, in ICT, if we say something is done manually, manual means it's done by human beings. Okay, human beings. If something is done by human beings, it's said as manual. And then you have this computerized systems. So these are two types of information systems. Processing data. Okay. Now, again, in your textbook, they have given you several things. Okay, I'm not going to talk about everything in your textbook. I have told you, your textbook has like around 40 to 50% unwanted stuff. Okay, 40 to 50% unwanted stuff. So I'm not going to talk about all those paragraphs and text and no. I'm going to talk about only the important stuff for you and for your exams. Okay, so listen carefully. All right. There is a table. There's a table given in your textbook comparing manual systems and computerized information systems. Look at that. They're talking about the benefits of using a computerized system. Okay, mostly it's about the benefits of computerized. See, when you use a computerized information system to process your data, errors, the first point given there, errors are minimal, means very less errors. Now, if a computer is doing something, it's not like human beings, right? We make mistakes. Human beings, we make mistakes. So, some parents don't understand that, but see, I understand, okay? Errors. Yeah, just like in database. So if you had followed the database lesson properly, then you know what we're talking about here. So the first point is about errors. Okay, errors are very less. When you use a computerized system, errors are very less because computers don't make mistakes. Human beings, yeah, a little bit or sometimes a lot. Depends on the mood. So, yeah. Second, see, the second point says data can be processed more efficiently. What do you mean by efficient? Efficient means in ICT or in technology, if we say something is efficient, means it talks about doing a lot of work within a short period of time. Okay? Efficient means in ICT, okay? In ICT or technology, efficiency or efficient means being able to do a lot of work in a short period of time. Right? So you can do that with computerized systems, can't you? Anyways, computers are fast. They can help us do our work faster. On the other hand, you have manual systems done by human beings, where human brains are. When you keep on doing a lot of work, your brain gets stacked with stress, and at some point you're gonna collapse, right? At some point, anyone's brain would collapse if you're continuously working on something. You need rest, right? So if you don't get enough rest, your efficiency reduces. Like with time now. Just think about school. Think about school. Think about your teachers at school. Okay, just let's talk about students, okay? Not teachers. Think about you at school. You go to school early in the morning, you're like fresh and with all the energetic. Yeah. So you're ready to learn something new and maybe in a good mood. First period, okay, very energetic. Second period, yeah, it's still there. Third period, it's sweating, right? Okay, fourth period, oh, yeah. Okay, back starts hurting. Right. Fifth period, okay, time to relax a little bit. Let's lie back on the chair. Sixth period, okay, let's get some rest. Sixth period, hungry, right? Seventh period, thirsty, tired. Eighth period, ninth period. If you have a ninth period, you're dead, right? Your battery is down. So you see, your efficiency, right? the efficiency reduces, guys. As as human beings, our efficiency goes down with time. Why? Because we get tired, right? We get tired. Computers are not like that, right? Computers, they can work around the clock, 24 hours at the same efficiency. So this is what we're talking about in that point. And the third point given that is large amounts of data can be stored in a small physical space. Now, this is very much relatable to the database lesson of grade 10. Okay. Large amount of data can be stored in a small physical space. Okay, think about it. Okay. Like, let's say you have a lot of PDF documents. You have a lot of PDF documents, like 5,000 PDF documents. 5,000 PDF documents. Each of them is like 1 MB. Let's say one PDF is 1 MB. 5,000 PDF, 5,000 MB. How much is 5,000 MB? I'm just saying. How much is 5,000 MB? Almost like 5 GB, right? Just 5 GB. 5 GB. Isn't it? 5 GB. So, you are storing 5,000 PDF documents in 5 GB storage. You only need one computer, right? Still one computer, but you have 5,000 PDFs. Think about the same thing manually. 5,000 CR books or 5,000 file covers. You need a large space to store them, right? That's what they're talking about in this point. And then the last one here is about security. Security can be, here and there. Can be here and there because nowadays you have physical security also, which is really good. Vacuum sealed and highly protective physical securities are there. So, physical security, there are. And even computerized security, you have these encryptions. Encryptions are really good. Encryption turns your data into an unreadable format when storing your data with a password. Okay, you have to give a password. You lock it with a password. When you lock it, the data gets changed. The data gets changed into an unknown format, into an unreadable format. Like everything will be jumbled and weird characters. You might never have seen such characters in your life. So encryption is a good security mechanism nowadays. They say even WhatsApp uses encryption nowadays. WhatsApp, when you open a chat on WhatsApp, you have it on top, right? This chat is end-to-end encrypted. Means it's protected. The chats that you send are like protected. Okay. So encryption is like that. We'll learn more about encryption if you guys are interested, but a little bit later. Okay. So those are some differences, guys. Some differences between computerized and manual systems. So you don't have to memorize these things, okay? You don't have to memorize these things. It's just, That's what I told you. Without memorizing them, if you can write down, right? If you can write down some short points, short notes, that's good. Okay, that's better. Okay, let's see. Okay, if you find it difficult to get down short notes, then you can follow up with the questions that I put in the channel. Okay, there will be posting questions. So you can try the questions and you can even write it down in a separate book or something. You can maintain a. You don't have to maintain a separate book. Just turn to the backside. Turn to the backside of your ICT writing book and write down those questions and answers. Okay. Um, we'll be giving answers also. All right. Uh, yeah. So that is pretty much about the basics of chapter 2. Then comes the actual scene. All this time it was the trailer. Okay. Now comes the actual part. System development life cycle. If you cannot hear my voice properly, or if it is the video is not clear, you gotta tell me, okay? Because sometimes I don't notice that. So tell me, right? If it is not good, the quality is not good, let me know. Okay. So it's like this. Now in your textbook, under the topic system development life cycle, you have 6 stages given there. There's 6 stages mentioned. First stage is about identifying requirements. Second stage, designing. Third stage, coding, or sometimes we call it implementation. And then fourth, testing and debugging. Fifth, deployment or releasing. And number 6 is maintenance, warranty period, something like that. I'll come to that. Okay, we'll talk about each of these things in detail. So, but before we talk about software here, I'll tell you an example, a different kind of example, like something you already know. I hope so. Something that you might already know. Okay. Do you know the process of building a house? What do you do? You might have seen, right? Sometimes, like, might have heard, seen. You guys gossip, right? Gossip. So, yeah. um, all the stuff. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. All right. So I'll talk about the system development life cycle, relating it to building a house first. Okay, I'll talk about how you're going to build a house according to these steps. It'll be easier for you to understand the steps. After that, I'll talk about a real life example of building a software. Let's talk about how to build a software for a business like Cargills. Now in Cargills, they are using software, right? At the cashier, not only at the cashier, even the manager is using, even the managing directors are using software. So I'll teach you how software for Cargills, something like Cargills, can be built. But before that, we'll talk about how to build a house according to this process. Okay. So here, the first step is identification of requirements. Identifying requirements means to build a house, you would have an idea, right? Like the house that I'm going to build, my house should have this. My house should be 1 story, 2 story, 3 story. My house should have 3 rooms, 4 rooms, 5 rooms. My house should have attached washrooms, bathrooms. Or my house should have maybe a swimming pool. My house should have a lawn, a garden, a pond. All these things, like your idea, your requirements. Okay. How many windows should be there? How many doors should be there? So likewise, there's a lot of requirements that you might have when building a house, right? So the first stage is that identifying the requirements. When they come to your mind, you write it down. You write down the requirements. This should be there, this should be there, this should be there, this should be there, this should be there. You write it down. Collecting requirements. Number 2, designing. This is when you go to an architect. Second stage, you go to an architect. You give your requirements. These are my requirements. This is how my house should be. These things should be there. Give me a plan. Give me a plan. Drawing, right? So the architect will suggest a few ideas and design a house plan. Okay? The architect will design a house plan. That is the most important thing about building a house. But building is not the important thing, the plan. Okay? Designing is the most important part of building something. Anything, not only a house. Okay? Designing is super important, guys. If you build something without a plan, you know what would be the consequence, right? So planning is important. Okay? Designing phase is very important. So in the designing phase, architect will draw out a house plan. Not only that, architect will contact a QS, a quantity surveyor, and they will find out how much material will be needed to build that house according to that plan. How much bricks, how much sand, how much cement, how much paint, how much blah blah blah. I don't know how much. Okay, it's not coming to my mind. So the quantity surveyor will identify all the things needed to build that house and the cost. How much cost for these things, everything will be identified, and where can we get them? All these things will be planned. After planning, third step, coding, is something that we call as the building. Coding is easy. Coding can be done by Basune. Right? Basune does that, right? So you give the house plan, Basune will do it. Coding is not a hard part. Designing, planning is the hard part. Okay, so coding means building the house. So building can be done quickly using the plan. Okay, so the building will be done. After building comes another important part. What is that? Testing and debugging. Testing means testing, you know that. Debugging means, in ICT, a bug, B-U-G, bug means an error, a problem. Bug means error or problem. So debugging means fixing the error, fixing the problem. So testing and debugging. Now, after building a house, after you build a house, you have to test it, right? Normally, these builders, contract builders, they have quality assurance engineers. Those people, they test. After building a house, they test. They test the concrete, they test the wall, they test the plaster, they test everything, the flow, everything. So testing should be done. How do you test the house? Like, take a hammer and bang on the concrete and see whether it's breaking. Seriously, I don't know. Okay, don't ask me. Like I could only think like maybe if you are testing the roof, you could pour some water on the roof and see whether it's leaking. Yeah, you could pour some water on the roof and see whether it is leaking, or maybe the gutter is working properly. Open some taps and see whether the water is coming, and yeah, those things. I mean, seriously, there might be something. So testing and debugging is that finding for errors, okay, searching for problems and fixing them. If there are problems, you fix them. And the fifth step is deployment or handing over the house to the customer. So after building the house, the contractor will hand over the house to the client, to the customer. So that could be done in different methods. We'll talk about that, okay, when we are talking about software. And then the last stage is maintenance. After handing over the house to the customer, maintenance is there. What is maintenance? It's like a warranty period. Usually 1 year. Okay, 1 year warranty period is there. Free. For what? For the system. For the house. If something happens, not if you break the house. If it breaks on its own, okay? if the house breaks on its own, if it collapses, or maybe suddenly it started raining heavily and it starts leaking out of nowhere, and something like that happens within 1 year, okay, the contractor will fix it for free. Why? It was their fault. After 1 year, it's done. For 1 year, there's no problem. So after 1 year, it's like, could be your fault, right? So likewise, it's like warranty period, guys. It's super important, okay? In any business, the maintenance part is super important. Even if you are selling a product, the after sales, we call it the after sales, the maintenance part, the warranty. After sales is very important. Why? After the customer buys a product, they're going to use it, right? So their feedback is super important. The feedback of a customer is super important. Because if the customer is satisfied, they're going to recommend your business to others. Same happens to the negative side also. If they are dissatisfied, if they are not satisfied with that product or service, they're not going to recommend it. And some people don't stop at that. What do? Yeah, they stop others also from coming to your business. Like me. I mean, I do that. If somebody gave me a bad experience somewhere, okay, anywhere, hospital, supermarket, shop, public place, product, service, anything. If I don't get a good service, I put it online. I share it with a lot of people. And trust me, if I put something on my status, more than 1,600 people watch my status. That's enough, right? I mean, like, that thing itself is enough, right? More than 1,600 people watch that. Okay, so be careful. I mean, that is why we say every customer is super important. Okay, every customer is important. Yep. So that is building a house. Next, we'll talk about the system development life cycle of the software. Now, for that, I'm going to take a big break. Let's talk about building a software, system development life cycle of a software in the next class. All right.